what Pokemon booster box would make you the most profit moving forward into the future? That is a very interesting question, and it's going to be a very difficult one to answer, but we're going to give it a go today. Now, recently I did a tier list where I went through all the Scarlet and Violet era sets, every single one, and I kind of ranked where I feel like, or how good I think they'll be in the future if you're going to buy those products to invest in the long run. Now, we're talking long term. I'm not talking about buying up a booster box and selling it and trying and get as much money as quick as possible. We're talking about buying something, keep and hold onto it for the next 5+ years, and just let it mature in value over time. And most of the time, booster boxes do go up in value. They're pretty much near enough all the time they go up in value. Some quicker than others, and some more than others. It just really does depend, especially on different time frames, and there's so many different factors. It's hard to guess which one's going to be the best, right? I didn't expect Fusion Strike to be as much as it is. I really didn't. And in all honesty, I didn't expect for some of these sets, especially in Sword and Shield era, to reach as high as they have already, which is very, very impressive. But today we'll be looking at Scarlet and Violet era sets specifically. We're going to look on eBay, and I'm going to be going through some of the prices of what's going on eBay right now, so you guys can get an idea of what's happening, right? And then I'm going to be talking about each one of these sets that we're going to look at today to give you an idea of where I think they could be going in the future, and kind of give you a rating out of 10 of how I think they would perform in the future regarding keeping sealed for that long term. Because right now things are pretty expensive, and you may be thinking, is now a good time to pick up booster boxes? I think for some of these sets we're going to look at today, I'm going to say yes, mainly because some of them are quite old and they are getting more and more harder to get hold of, and of course pricey. But there are also going to be some sets that are going to have reprints, to keep an eye out and keep that in mind as well. So let's jump in. We're going to look at eBay at some prices here in the UK, and we're going to talk about each of them and go from there. Okay, so first off, we're looking at Paldea Evolved. I typed in Paldea Evolved because I think Paldea Evolved is incredible, and I want to look at what prices, what are the going rates right now regarding Paldea Evolved booster boxes, specifically booster boxes. I don't really care about anything else. I just want to know booster box prices. But right now, these aren't recently sold. These are the ones that are currently up for sale, of course. So we want to see what is the current going rate. All right, if I change it to buy it now, we get an idea. So we don't want to look at what recently sold. We know what's available right now. So we've got one here. So we've got £200 pretty much for a box there. Another 200 there. You've got a couple of half boxes. I don't mind getting half boxes. Personally, I think they're pretty good. I think they're a good cheaper alternative, and I think they'll do very well. We saw half boxes of the Sword and Shield stuff go for an insane amount of money, so keep that in mind as well. But you're looking at about £200 seems to be the going rate. I mean, some of these are more expensive, right? $230, I wouldn't be paying that. Like, if it's 200 or under, I'm not against it, right? 220 seems a bit high. Even half boxes at 100 I think is okay. But yeah, keep that in mind. 200, I mean, that one there is just insanely expensive, but around about £200 a box seems to be okay. I mean, there are some that are very expensive regarding Paldea Evolved. Now, where do I think Paldea Evolved will be in the future? I think it's going to be very good. I don't see it being reprinted and restocked really in any real effect, real capacity to have an impact on the price of a Paldea Evolved booster box. So unfortunately, I do think we're going to be seeing it keep going up in price over time. Okay, so for me right now, I think £200 doesn't seem that bad. Keep that in mind moving forward. Where do I see Paldea Evolved going? I think Paldea Evolved is going to be very, very good. It's seen huge gains and huge promises already. I'm pretty sure on my tier list, I think I put in A tier because I think it's a very, very good set. I do think it'll perform very well. Where would it go, right? I think by the end of this year, end of 2025, we could be seeing Paldea Evolved booster boxes, to be honest, reach £300. Like £250 to £300, I think is a reasonable expectation. I mean, definitely £250, right? Because I mean, we've already seen here some of these, £215 with the postage, and we've even seen that like £220, right? We have seen, if it's already sat around that £220 range, £260, we're basically there. So £300 is not, not that extreme to think that it wouldn't get that high. But yeah, I would say personally right now, Paldea Evolved is a good pickup. If I had to give it a rating out of 10, I would think for the long term, I would give it an 8. I think it's a very good set. I think it would be easily £500 a booster box in the future. So keep that in mind. Like I said, I do think it's going to be good, right? Am I saying is it going to be like Fusion Strike levels? Probably not, but I do think it would be good. I do. So keep that in mind. But £200 right now is not that bad. Next up, Twilight Masquerade. I don't like Twilight Masquerade that much, but I can't deny how well it's doing, right? So booster boxes, we're looking around about, what, 160? Pretty much just slightly over MSRP right now. If you want to go for half boxes, you're looking at basically MSRP is basically £75, or just under £75 half booster box. Pretty good price. The 156 is incredibly consistent, right? With the postage, you're looking at 160 a box. Very, very consistent in Twilight Masquerade. I mean, you can get the half booster boxes there as well. But yeah, pretty much. Look, I mean, 220 is just, wow, 225, that's crazy, right? Especially all the rest are like £70 cheaper. So overall, I think Twilight Masquerade is pretty good. I mean, I've been picking some up recently, and I mean, yeah, they've been around retail, to be honest, around MSRP. Will it get reprinted? That's an interesting question. It is due to have one. It really is. Hasn't had one yet. For me personally, I think Twilight Masquerade is going to be good regardless. Again, like I said before, I'm not a huge fan of it personally, but it is doing well. Greninja's actually holding quite well. It's one of the few big heavy hitters that's actually holding, which is pretty good compared to some of the others because they're all falling like crazy. So where would I put this? I would probably put this quite high in my opinion. I think it's very, very good. I think that by the end of this year, if a reprint doesn't happen for booster boxes, then we can see this being over £200 a box quite comfortably. But yeah, I think Twilight Masquerade will be very good. Is it going to be as good as Paldea Evolved? Possibly. I mean, possibly. Has some big heavy cards in there. Like Greninja is bigger than the Magikarp and so on and so forth. So I could see Twilight Masquerade performing very good. I'm pretty sure I put in A tier when I ranked Twilight Masquerade. So I would give it an 8 out of 10 as well. I think it's on the same level as Paldea Evolved. I could easily see it being a £500 box in the future. Very, very good. Okay, on to Surging Sparks. A little bit more expensive now. We're looking at around about 175. Looking at 175, 182-ish. 175 with postage. Around 175. Towards 185, 190. So pretty much £180 a booster box. It is still due a reprint, so I do expect it to potentially go down in price. It's kind of on that same, will it not, level. It is relatively new compared to like Paldea Evolved and Twilight. Is it still worth it? I mean, I actually have, and I will admit, I have been picking up booster boxes for around that 180 range, right? That 175, 180 range. Do we have any half boxes? Because, I mean, these are pretty decent priced. I mean, we have a half box there. That one's slightly more expensive. You must just buy an actual normal booster box. In all honesty, like £91, yeah, you must just buy a normal booster box at that point. Like, I would prefer to buy a booster box rather than 2 half boxes if they're, pretty much the same price. So, yeah, booster box for under, 174, pretty good price. And that's what I've been picking it up as. Mainly because, you may be like, why picking up over MSRP? It is such a sought after set. It's hard to get hold of at now. And will it get reprinted? Maybe. Will it drop in price? Possibly. Will it drop much? I don't know. But the thing is if it doesn't get reprinted, this could quite comfortably and most definitely be at over £200 a box by the end of the year. And it's crazy to think because this set is not even a year old. In fact, it's like, 6-7 months old. Very, very interesting. Surging Sparks, in my opinion, I think I've ranked it in S tier. I'm pretty sure I put it in S tier. It is so good. Like, it is incredibly good. So I expect this to hold very, very well in the future. So yeah, keep that one in mind. I think if I had to give this a rating out of 10, I would probably give it a 8.5. 8.5 out of 10. I think it's a pretty good one. £200 by the end of the year. Easy. If no reprints happen by the end of the year, we could be seeing a more than 200, maybe pushing 220, 230. But yeah, and then over £500 a box in the future for sure. This is definitely a home run set. So keep that one in mind. I think Surging Sparks, even at this price point, is not the worst. Okay, then we got Journey Together. Of course, a recent set has come out and the price of this has been falling quite heavily. So we have an enhanced booster box there, which is the not common one here in the UK at 190. So we had the non-enhanced, which is the common one. 167 for a non-enhanced. 160. So again, we're looking at pretty much the same price as a Twilight Masquerade booster box. which is actually not that bad. That has fallen a lot. It was over £200 a box when the set came out, so it has dropped quite heavily, which is actually not that bad. It's actually cheaper than Surging Sparks now, and I do expect it to fall. Like, if more and more gets reprinted, I mean, it's so new, and I do expect more to come, we could see Journey Together fall. Now the question is, would I pick it up? Look, again, like Surgeon, I have been picking this up and I've been buying it at MSRP, right? I've been buying it at that 155 range when I've been seeing it available. I don't mind picking up MSRP. I really don't. I've said this before. MSRP for me is fine. I think it's okay. I didn't want to spend at the time like £200 a box because I had a feeling it would go down. The hype was too real. And there's a lot of Journey Together around. There is a lot. So for me, I think 155 to 160 is a reasonable price. I probably wouldn't overpay any much more. The enhanced version I think is okay. I mean, the promo itself is like 15 to 20 pounds. To keep that in mind, like to drop it down. I do expect it to get reprinted. If it does get reprinted, then this box, I mean, you could be looking at a booster box being under MSRP, which is going to be very good. And I would be picking up more if that happened. If it doesn't get reprinted this year, then I do expect it to push towards £200, if not break £200 by the end of the year. People love this set. They really do. It's a fun set to open. It's grown on me more and more. I wasn't a huge fan to begin with, but it is doing pretty well, and I am enjoying opening up the set. And the artwork's sweet. I have to admit, there's some really nice artwork in the set. So for me, I think it would do pretty well. Where would I put it though? Where would I rank it and score it? I would probably give it a 7 out of 10. I don't think it's as good as maybe Twilight. I don't think it's as good as Paldea of Old or Surgeon. Mainly because I think, yes, it is a fun set, but I just don't see it being incredibly good as those. I just don't. Like, the Lily's Clefairy is okay, but it's not as big as some of the other big cards from other sets. And the prices are falling, and it's still relatively new. So, that would be one I would keep in mind. Okay, Obsidian Flame, slightly older one now. This one's an interesting one because this one I never really thought about picking up, and I haven't really bought in a long time, but it is getting pricey. We have here one in a protective case, but 180, 190, not in a protective case. That's interesting. You got some half booster boxes there for a little bit cheaper option. 180. So you look about 180, 190 a booster box. So it is more expensive than Surgeon. It's more expensive than Journey. It's more expensive than Twilight. Not quite as expensive as Paldea, but it's basically up there. I don't think it's that bad. It is getting older. Time is against it, to be honest. Time is running out regarding Obsidian Flames. Yes, the value of the cards in the set are not great, so it's not really a great set to open. It's pretty expensive. In fact, I would just keep hold of it sealed. We've seen ETBs and Pokemon Center ETBs fetch an insane price point, but you're looking around about 180, right? You're looking about 180 for a booster box. For me, I haven't bought one in a while. Would I pick it up for 180? If I didn't have one, I probably would. But I would think that there's, in my opinion, probably better sets to pick up, like Surgeon, for example, for the same price. I think Surgeon would be a lot better for the long run. I think the ceiling for Surgeon is much, much higher than Obsidian. So I would probably give Obsidian a 6 out of 10 for the current price point. I don't think it's going to be as good. I think it's not going to be as good as Journey. I think Journey is going to be a lot better, but I don't see it being worth the price right now. I mean, 180. I mean, like I said, if you don't have it and if you want some, now is going to be the best time to pick it up, of course. But I think there's better sets. I do think there's better ones to pick up if you want to go for that long-term investment. Like I said, Surgeon, Twilight, Paldea, in fact, are all better than Obsidian. But yeah, this is still a good one. I think 180 seems reasonable, of course. But you can go a cheaper alternative route if you want to go for some half booster boxes. Next up, we got Paradox Rift. So Paradox Rift is an interesting one because I believe it's still available on the Pokemon Center website here in the UK. So that's like, what, 145? You have 135 here, 140, 130, 135, just under 140. So you're looking at under retail, pretty much for Paradox Rift. Pretty good, right? I think it's definitely worth getting. Anything at retail right now, MSRP, is worth it. It just is. I like Paradox Rift. It's got some amazing illustration rares in there. The overall set value is going up, which is pretty good. It's a good set. I enjoy it. I think it's good. I wouldn't say it's like incredible, but I think it's good. Right? I don't think it's really bad. So where do I see the ceiling going for this? If more reprints are coming, there's a lot of this around still. This one was already heavily printed anyway. So for me, I mean, let's say it runs out on the Pokemon Center website. You could be seeing it pushing 180. Maybe by the end of the year, if it does sell out, it does get reprinted, then no, you're going to be seeing it at MSRP I think, for a while. Where would I put Paradox? I think once it's gone and that's it, I think this that one's Temporal. I think this will be a dark horse. I think it's going to be one of the potential dark horses along with Temporal, but I do think Paradox Rift will sit at around about, maybe, like I say, 180 by the end of the year if it sells out. Where do I see the ceiling go? I think it would probably sit, it could be like a £300 plus booster box in the future, but yeah, I think right now, I think it's a pretty good pickup. I do. It's one of the cheaper booster boxes to get. It's not bad. Anything at retail, like I said, worth picking up. That's what I've been doing with Journey Together, and I'll do that with Paradox Rift. And then we got Temporal Forces, which I think is a dark horse. So we have here 130, 140, 135 with postage. We have a case here, 140. So you're looking at a pretty good price. Basically retail, under retail, like Paradox. I think this is a great one. I think it's a great one. I didn't actually give Paradox a score out of 10. I just realized. If I had to give Paradox a rating out of 10, I would probably give it like a 6.5. I think I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. It is better. I think it's going to do better than Obsidian, but I don't know whether or not it'll do as better as some of the others. I just don't know. Temporal, though, I would probably give a 7 out of 10. I think Temporal is slightly better than Paradox, personally. It's my personal opinion. I do feel like Temporal, once it does sell out, because I do believe it's still available on the Pokemon Center website as well, once that does sell out, we could be seeing it reaching £200 a box by the end of the year. Potential. Again, it might get reprinted, and then it will stay at this price point, or even less. So again, would I buy it right now? Yeah, I would. I think, again, anything retail or under right now in this current market is very, very good. So keep that in mind moving forward. And I do think Temporal will have a higher ceiling than Paradox, but we'll just have to wait and see. Finally, today we're going to be looking at Stellar Crown. We're not going to look at Scarlet White Base. We're going to look at Stellar Crown, right? Stellar Crown. So we're looking at 151 for a box there. We're looking at basically 160, 165, 160. So this one is pretty much around retail, a little bit above retail. So would I buy this over Journey Together? Would I buy this over Twilight Masquerade? Probably not. I think they're better sets than Stellar Crown. The value of Stellar Crown, like Obsidian Flames, is not actually that great. It's a small set. The value's just not there. So would I pick up, Stellar Crown for 160 a box? I think it's going to get reprinted. I really do. I don't highly rate Stellar Crown. I don't think I rated that great in the tier list either. I think I may have gave it low B or C tier. I just don't think it was that great. So for me, Stellar Crown, I would probably give it a 6 out of 10 as well. Same with Obsidian. Would I pick it up for 160 a box? It's pretty much retail, so pretty much, yeah, I wouldn't mind, but I would prefer to spend that money on Twilight. In all honesty, if I was going to spend my money, I'd buy Twilight Masquerade. I'd buy Journey Together. Stellar Crown is fine. It's got some nice Pokemon in it. It's got some great cards. It's got Dash Bun, so of course, gotta go for that. But no, I think 160 is a little bit, I don't know, it's a bit risky. I do feel like this will get reprinted and the price will fall. That's why I probably put it lower down in the score. But if it doesn't get reprinted, I think this could be easily £200 plus by the end of the year. That's how crazy this market is right now. So yeah, keep that in mind with Stellar Crown, but I prefer Twilight Masquerade. Okay, I was going to say and finally, but we've got to check out Destined Rivals. It's not yet come out yet. Not yet released, of course, and we want to see what the pre-order prices are and, give my thoughts and opinions on the situation with this set. So we have basically 200, well, the cheapest here is £217, 220, 250 or 255 plus postage, 225. The price of this are pretty much all over the show. A case, 1.2k. So 225, 250, 220. People just don't know the price. They really, really don't know what the price is at. Would I pre-order this at over £200 a booster box? We saw this with Journey Together. We did. And it fell heavily. Don't forget, it fell. It fell down to basically pretty much retail. Do I see Destined Rivals going down that route? Yes and no. I do expect it to fall further than this. I do expect it to be under £200 by the time the set comes out and once people get all their stock. But I do think it'll kind of be like Surgeon, where it would probably sit naturally higher. So you might see Destined Rivals sitting around that 180 to 200 range. That's going to be my prediction of where it would sell. But I think 250 a box is ludicrous. I wouldn't even think about buying this at 250. Would I buy over MSRP? That is the question. It really does depend. If you're going for that long term, this is going to be one of the best sets in the whole of Scarlet Violet era when it comes to booster boxes. It just will. Between this and Surgeon, they're duking it out. I think this is probably top Surgeon. So if you're going for that long term, I don't think paying an extra £20-30 over retail is going to make a huge deal. Paying £100 or £80 to £100 over retail is a big deal. $250 is a lot. So for me, if it's sat around 180, I would probably pick it up. Just like I did with Journey, you know, I'm picking them up at that 160-ish range. I think this will be above Journey. I think it would sit in between, like I say, around that Surgeon Sparks level, 180, 190. I would be comfortable with that. If I was going to rank this, I think I put it in S tier. I think I even put it in S plus tier. I'm pretty sure. I think I put it up pretty high. And I think it was S tier. I think it was top of S tier. This is going to be incredible. I think that this will quite happily break 500, if not be £1,000 down the line. Would I say this is an Evolving Skies level set? Probably not. But I do think this is like a Fusion Strike style level. Like very, very good. So keep that in mind. I think this is going to be a very good set. Look, it's going to be new. It's not even out yet. It's going to be reprinted to Oblivion, hopefully. And then we'll see what happens. Be cautious with Destined Rivals. But if I had to give it a rating out of 10, 9 to 9.5. I think it's very good. So you have it, guys. Those are the booster boxes right now, and those are my thoughts on stuff. Destined Rivals, be super careful. My rule right now is pretty much anything that's around MSRP or under, like Temporal and Paradox, great pickups. Definitely pick them up. But I think anything at retail, I don't mind paying. Obsidian, like I said, if you're gonna pay that money for Obsidian, there are just better sets in my opinion to pick up, right? Surgeon, even Paldea Evolve, like spend the extra £10 and get Paldea Evolve box. Things like that, I think there's just better ones to pick up. Same with Stellar Crown, I think there's better ones to pick up. But Twilight is pretty much around retail here. Journey is pretty much around retail, which is fine. Surgeon's a little bit more, but I think Surgeon's worth it at 180. Again, not insanely expensive. You're looking at an extra, what, £20 over retail. Don't go too crazy on Destined Rivals. But yeah, those are the booster boxes. Right now, in my opinion, top ones to look out for to pick up for the money. I would go with Twilight, I would go with Surgeon, and I would probably go with something like Paldea Evolved, and definitely Temporal and Paradox. Under retail, home run. If it's one of the video and you've enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button, make sure to subscribe for more Pokemon content, and let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Which ones are you looking to pick up? Have you pre-ordered any Destined Rivals? Please tell me you didn't pay £250 a booster box. Please. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. Trust me. It is definitely not worth it. But that is it from me, guys, in today's video. Of course, if you watch more Pokemon content, make sure to click the video on the screen and make sure to hit that subscribe button. But as always, thank you so much for watching. You guys are legends, and I'll see you in the next one.